Today we're joined by Representative Bob Nicholas, Chairman of the House Appropriations Committee, as we enter the fifth week of the 2019 Wyoming legislative session. Can you give us some highlights from last week?
It was a busy week, particularly for the House Appropriations Committee. I don't think we left the building before 10 o'clock the entire week, except on Friday.
And you start so early too.
Typically at 7. So.
See, this is extra nice for you to come on and get this update after an exhausting week like that.
It was a fun week. It was a long week. It was a lot of work, but we got a lot accomplished.
Now you're sponsoring a bill which would create a Wyoming Investment Council.
Correct.
How would this benefit our state?
What this bill does is it creates a council where you have basically 5 folks who are professionals with investing with different types of portfolios, and they will sit as a council that reviews the investment policies and the procedures to make sure that we're investing with the best practices in mind.
What factors in Wyoming history prompted you to sponsor this bill?
It's one more step in a process that we've been doing really for about 4 years. It was initiated by the then Treasurer, now Governor Gordon.
You're also sponsoring House Bill 271, which deals with non-binding arbitration between firefighters and appropriate officials in cities, towns, and counties.
You know, the firefighters are great, fantastic folks, but just take Cheyenne, for instance. In terms of all city employees, they're the highest paid. They have the highest pension plan. They're the only folks that have a COLA. They literally get to arbitrate on whether or not they get new lounge chairs in their break room. All those things are subject to, right now, an annual contract. And at the end of the day, there's binding arbitration. Well, that means that the elected people, you, me, everyone down the street, doesn't get to determine or establish what the wages are or the benefits are for firemen.
So as you mentioned, under this bill, the arbitration is non-binding and ultimately the governing body would make the decision. How do you think that would impact relationships between parties if they're struggling to come to an agreement?
It will dynamically alter their relationship.
As I'm sure you're aware, this bill is highly controversial. You have residents who are strongly for and strongly against it. What are your thoughts on that?
That's just a good indicator, number one, that we should have the conversation. Because, as you say, particularly from the firefighter standpoint, they are very strong advocates for this position. You know, I tried to talk my son into being a firefighter after I recognized how wonderful their benefits are. But if you stand back, they're the only entity in the state of Wyoming that has this compulsory arbitration. No one else has this unique advantage.
Looking forward to next week, what should viewers know?
Both houses passed a supplemental budget on Thursday. Monday, the Legislative Service Office will come and present to the House side and explain the differences between the House version and the Senate version. Then on Tuesday, I believe the Senate will do the same thing.
Thank you so much for coming on and giving us this legislative update.
You bet. Pleasure to be here.